Come on. Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
All right, once again, we are on. He is the great Mike Steph. I am the Mojo King, and this is Hidden Gems Football, brought to you by the 19 Media Group. This is week 1. Season 24-25 is among us for the NFL. This is season 3 of Hidden Gems Football. Happy to be here. How are you doing, Mike Steph?
I'm doing okay. You know, I'm in a undisclosed location, aka somewhere else in my house. So that's why it's kind of mysterious in the background. You're trying to figure out what's back there, and you just don't know. But besides that, I'm doing great, and I'm ready to go.
All right. Before we really start, I would like to thank you, yes, you listeners and watchers. Thank you for choosing us. We strive, we thrive because of you. Please like, subscribe, tell a friend. I think there's something else I'm missing to do, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Mike Steph, it is time for your one big thing.
My one big thing today, this week, is just pretty much a overall view of this NFL 24-25 season. You know, if you've tuned into our various previews, you have a little glimpse of what we think, at least in one conference with the NFC. There's a lot of teams that are looking to come out of their year-long doldrums, such as the Bears, the Jets, the Chargers, amongst others. The Titans might be a little bit more spunky than you would think. The Carolina Panthers might just suck, as you might well know that they're going to suck. The Eagles, the Cowboys, a whole plethora of outcomes that might happen this year. But the one thing that we can say is this is sure to be a very exciting year. Some of the outcomes will be determined by not only just an inch, but maybe a toenail. And we have new people in new places doing big, big things, such as Saquon Barkley. What a debut. What a debut. And he hasn't even been in his home country yet. So imagine what he's going to do in the city of brotherly love. But I will hold all of my grandiose ideas, my heart bleeds and pumps green. We'll talk about the main event later on. But this is my friend Jetty. If anybody knows me, they know I'm a New York Jets fan. And when I get back to my regular setup, he will be front and center. But besides that, I'm so hyped that I'd rather just get to our predictions because I got a whole bunch of things to say. I got a whole bunch of thoughts to spew. And that's my little one big thing. Matter of fact, not little, that's my one big thing. Yeah!
All right. We're doing things a little bit in reverse. Usually we talk about Thursday night game and then get into Survivor. This time we're going to talk about Survivor, then get into some prime time action. First, before I start, I got to say this week is in particular a really tough Survivor week because not only is it week 1, you don't really know where teams are at, but it seems like the NFL really set up these matchups to be close games. Biggest spread we have is the New England Patriots. They're going to visit the Cincinnati Bengals. The Patriots last year were 4-13. The Bengals were 9-8. Right now they have Vegas has the total at 40.5 points, and they have the Bengals as 7.5 point favorites. That means if Vegas is right, which sometimes they aren't this early in the season, the Patriots will score 16.5 points, and the Bengals will score 24. Looking at the lineup and possible injuries, well, the Bengals have a couple of questions. Jamar Chase, does he play? He says he will be a game time decision. I think he will, but we're not sure because of the contract dispute. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, T. Higgins is doubtful because of a hamstring injury. And then, of course, the number 3 receiver, Tyler Boyd, is gone. And lastly, Joe Mixon's gone too. He's been replaced by Zach Moss, and Chase Brown is still there. On the Patriots side, we don't have any injuries to worry about, but we do have the loss of Bill Belichick. Mike Steph, what do you think is going to happen with this game? Do you think the Bengals are a safe play in Survivor?
I have a lot of thoughts about the Bengals, a lot of thoughts. But specifically for your question, this is a tricky game. A lot of people probably would be leaning on the Bengals for a survivor pick. I personally believe that due to their past history, it would be risky because they are a slow starter, and you would think, yeah, they're going against this patsy against the Patriots, but at the same time, you don't know exactly what to make of this talentless bunch in New England. So to answer your question, I would steer clear of the Bengals, but when it comes to the Patriots, legitimately for the first time in this century, we enter this season not knowing, or should I say, knowing that the Patriots have not a snowball's chance in Hades at being competitive, let alone interesting, let alone a winning team. Gone is the Belichick era. Enter the Gerard Mayo regime. Once again, to me, this continues the pattern of African American coaches receiving opportunities when the cupboard is bare. And boy, is it barren. They have decided to start Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, even though, albeit in the preseason, rookie Drake May did show promise. But I think it's more an indictment of the overall offensive unit than May himself that they've chosen this path going forward. They have one potential difference maker on the offensive side of the ball, which would be running back Ramondre Stevenson. But besides that, the cupboard is bare, the cupboard is dry, the cupboard is desert. Now, as for the Bengals, a lot of pundits in this sports sphere, in the sports talk realm, have picked the Bengals to come out of the AFC to make their second Super Bowl in what, 3-4 years? Now, to me, the main question is whether or not they can keep Joe Burrow healthy. The years that he's been healthy, 2 championship games, 1 Super Bowl. The years he hasn't been healthy, no playoffs. And as you said, there's a lot of question marks going into the game. T. Higgins and his hamstring, and Jamar Chase and his holding. Getting to the actual my prediction, I will go with, and this is going to be surprising, Patriots to cover. So the Patriots plus 7.5, and that over under.
You know, I think I'm with you. As you point out, there's a lot of question marks with the Bengals, and they tend to start out slow. Joe Burrow tends to start out slow. Little worried about that wrist. The surgery itself is kind of unusual for a quarterback, but his main weapons may not even be there. Meanwhile, the Patriots, they come with a ton of questions too, including their slew of number 2 receivers without having a number 1 in sight. The Bengals are not where I expect them to be. The Patriots are just not good. So the Bengals should win this game. I understand why people will use them as survivor. As always, I will have multiple survivors, so I may sprinkle the Bengals in, but I don't feel very comfortable with this. Like you, I would rather take the Patriots with the 7.5. The Bengals can win by a touchdown, and you still get your money for being on the Patriots side. And that total seems so low. But with Brissett at quarterback, I think they're going to play conservatively. Brissett doesn't make many mistakes, but he's not going to really sling it around the field. So I guess I have to go under. I don't really feel too comfortable with that, but I'm with you on both of them. All right. Before we get into the primetime games, I do want to say that since, kind of against that, picking the Bengals as a survivor pick, the 2 other biggest spreads are Arizona at Buffalo and Denver at Seattle. Buffalo is 6.5-point favorites. Seattle is 6-point favorites. Mike Steph, do you like either one of these games more than you like the Bengals this week?
You said Arizona at Buffalo, and what was the other game? I'm sorry.
Denver at Seattle.
Ooh. that Denver Seattle game is going to be very interesting because you have new coaching in Seattle, and you have Sean Payton finally having the quarterback of his choice. So he has all the excuses out the window. But that Buffalo Arizona game. Now, since we're just doing talking about surviving, not talking about point spreads and everything, I want to say Buffalo would be a good pick just for the fact that you have Arizona coming across country, early start, first game of the season. You don't know really what to get from them, and Buffalo is at home. But now that I kind of start thinking about it and start talking it out, I probably would stay away from both because it would not surprise me if Arizona has the upset because once again, Buffalo had started slow last year and they're bereft of weapons in my point of view. Yeah, they got tight ends. Yeah, you got a rookie wide receiver, but I don't know. And everybody knows Josh Allen could be erratic as a you know what. So do I really want to put my fortunes and have it ride on Josh Allen in week 1? I don't think so. So if you force my hand, I guess I would pretty much probably go Denver over Seattle.
Denver
But
over
I'm not.
Seattle?
Yeah, but I'm not.
Wait.
I'm not
Wait.
confident.
Time out.
Yes.
Denver over Seattle because Seattle's 6-point favorites.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like I said, I'm not confident in it, and I really, really hate Peyton Oswalt, aka Sean Payton. I have a feeling Denver's going to be way better than people expect. So, being the fact that's his second year in Denver, and you don't really know what the new head coach of Seattle has to offer, I lean on experience.
All right. I'm stunned, but I see where you're going. For me, I like both of these favorites better than the Bengals. First, the Arizona Buffalo game. I think Buffalo, although I don't like a lot of their roster moves that they made over the offseason, I still think that they are still one of the better teams in the league. And Arizona, even though they're coming back, they're rising up. They have Kyler Murray back. That defense is really not that good. I think Buffalo should be able to handle them. I think that's the safest play out of the three. But I'm probably leaning towards Seattle defeating Denver. I just think Seattle's a superior squad. I do think Denver is going to be feisty this year, and I think Sean Payton is moving in the direction that he wants ultimately. But I just think Seattle is a better overall team. Outside of the offensive line, I kind of like this team. I think they're pretty strong. I think they're a playoff contender, and I don't think Denver is. So this is a tough first week. I don't like it. I wish there was a pushover game that I could just turn to. But out of those three, I probably go Seattle, Buffalo, then Cincinnati. All right, let's move on to the primetime games. The Los Angeles Rams are going to Detroit to face the Lions. The Rams last year were 10-7, while the Lions were 12-5. Vegas has the Lions as a 4.5-point favorite, and the total being 52.5 points. That means, according to Vegas, the Rams will score 24 and the Lions will score 28.5. As far as injuries, the Rams tight end Tyler Higbee is still out with a knee injury. I think he's on the PUP list. He'll be back in the middle of the season. Meanwhile, on Detroit, the only real injury they have is defensive tackle DJ Reader has a quad injury. He was limited in practice. We'll see how that goes. Mike Steph, what do you think about this game? Do you think the Lions can pull it out?
Well, this is a rematch of last year's wild card matchup in the game that the Lions did come out on top. Now, this year, to me, these two teams seem to be better versions of what they were last year. Both teams should be putting up some points, even though the defenses are improved as well. Will Stafford want a measure of revenge from that bitter loss in the playoffs? Will Goff be on a mission to start the year off right? Will Dan Campbell learn from his fatal mistakes of the championship game in which he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. I think I'm gonna take the under in the points, and I'll have the Lions covering. Yeah, I know. So I said what I said.
All right. Just a side note, I actually missed a couple things. The Lions have a couple the Rams have a couple injuries to their offensive line. Their left tackle and right tackle are both questionable for this week, which is not helpful.
Yeah, Hutchinson is gonna. Telling you, there's a method to my madness. Method to my madness. Like I'm probably gonna put you on the spot, so this might hit the editing floor. But we're gonna try to keep some records, and that'll probably end up falling on me. But I want to see exactly how well we are in these prognostications. I'm gonna take, not like I don't normally take it seriously, because I do. My trusty ass notes tell you I do, but I really want to see exactly, am I sharp or am I square for all those gambling sharks out there? Yeah, I know the lingo.
All right. Well, I got to say, these first couple of weeks, I'm not feeling all that safe about these things, but I am with you. I think the Lions are the far superior team. When we did the preview, I said I think that the Lions very possibly could be making it to the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Rams, a couple of things that they did last year towards the end of the season, I don't know if it's sustainable for an entire season. So I like the Lions minus the 4.5. I think they're going to win by a touchdown, maybe more. The over-under is a little bit tougher. Man, I could easily see them going over, but I'm going to go under just because it's week 1. I think there'll be some rust somewhere. And, maybe the first half would be a little bit low scoring, and then they'll pick it up in the second half. So I'm going with the Lions minus 4.5 and the under.
You know what I just realized, and this had nothing to do with the game? I realized, shout out to our brothers from the desert, G.I., Brad, and Tyler. I realized that you're Tyler this week, and I'm Brad.
How's that?
Look at the screen.
I am much closer.
Yeah. Well, you said closer. I have another term, but closer do.
That's all right. You know what? Because usually I'm shorter than you. Now I am tall.
Yeah. Listen, this undisclosed location is doing wonders. That's why you think I'm dressed in all black. I'm just kind of blended in with the background. All you see is the face, the magnificent face, but the face nevertheless. See how my brown skin just glistens off the black drop. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me.
All right. Let's move on to Monday night, where Mike Steff's New York Jets will be heading to San Francisco to face the 49ers. The Jets last year were 7-10, while the 49ers were 12-5.
Those records don't matter.
I'm just stating what it was last year.
No, they don't matter. They don't matter. New season. We didn't have Aaron Rodgers. New season.
You did for a couple of plays. Anyway, all right. Total is 43.5 points. The 49ers are 4.5-point favorites. That means Vegas is predicting that the Jets will score 19.5 points, while the 49ers score 24. As far as injury notes, we have one major one. Christian McCaffrey was questionable, held out most of the preseason, but he says he is ready to play. Mike Steph, what do you think about this game? Do you think your little Jets have any chance at all?
You think you're slick by putting that little Jets in, right? You hear what he said? Anyway. Okay. Listen, the Niners got everyone back from last year and got everyone back after a tense standoff with future Hall of Famer Trent Williams. He's back into the fold. And star wide receiver Brandon Ayuk, he's back in the fold. I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was going to be a bridge that was burnt, but they got him back. CMC, as you said, should be ready to go with his calf injury, even though he's being questionable. But I think that's a little bit more. That's a little bit of gamesmanship by Mr. Kyle Shanahan. You know, who whose next big game that he win would be his first one. But that's neither here nor there. Now, does Brock Purdy still have that mountain-sized chip on his shoulder after these 2 years of success? I guess we'll find out Monday night, won't we? Now, will the defense be able to stay as stout minus linebacker Greenlaw, who tore his ACL in the championship game last year? That's a big question also. I hear all this stuff about the 49ers winning DNA. Yeah, winning DNA with NFC championships, but I don't see any new Lombardi trophies out in the Bay. But enough about the Niners. I didn't speak about my Jets, so I'm going to get my stuff off right here and now. What more can I say? What more can I say about the Jets? I feel once we get past the fourth, yeah, that's right. Read it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth offensive play with Aaron Rodgers intact, everything will click. The anxiety will subside, and the mission to quiet the naysayers. Yeah, I said it. The naysayers. While many think this team is a house of cards waiting for either a gust of wind or a match to spark the flame, I believe this is going to be the start of our greatest run since the early Rex Ryan years. I remember those years, and I think it's going to be the start of a new renaissance, if you will. We're stacked in the backfield with Breece Hall and the rookie Braylon Allen. On the outside, we got G5, Garrett Wilson, who's a top 10 wide receiver in my eyes. Because look at it this way: his first 2 years in the league, he's played with how many bum quarterbacks and still garnered over 1,000-yard receiving in both his 2 years? So imagine if he actually has this competent play from the man behind center. That's why I consider him a top 10 wide receiver. Our offensive line is much improved, especially with the influx of talent from the Baltimore Ravens. And speaking of the Ravens, how much are the Ravens missing Morgan Mosley and Mr. Simpson after that showing on Thursday night? I'm just saying. Our defense will be a top 5 unit. And everyone is bringing up Hassan Reddick missing. Hassan Reddick still holding out. Oh, the pass rush ain't going to be nothing without Hassan Reddick. And how much it'll affect us? Well, guess what? We've never had Hassan Reddick at all. Not 1 second, not 1 minute, not 1 hour. He has never been on the field for our New York Jets. So how can the hell can we miss something we've never had? We can't. Nor will we. So I have full trust in the fact that we will continue to be able to manufacture a rush. And with that secondary, in particular the corners, where we go 3 deep. Reed, Sauce, MC the third, or MC3. I have full faith in the defense. So I guess y'all should see the writing on the wall with my pick, right? Guess y'all should see. I see the writing on the wall with who I have in my hand, right? Yeah, y'all should see. Or these letters on my hat. So I will put all the suspense to the side, and I'll give you my pick finally. The Jets, plus 4.5. And I'm taking the under.
All right. Just what I expected from you.
I need to please.
I don't know if it's pleasing, but that's what I expected from you. Okay, so the Jets are a very interesting case here. Assuming Aaron Rodgers is back, the incompetence at quarterback should be cured. Although, if you remember, 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers wasn't really that good then. Then last year, he's out all season. What are we going to get when he comes back? I don't know. I don't see how anybody could be so sure. But what we do know is that the 49ers are legit contenders. So to me, it's a pretty simple deduction there that I will take the 49ers at home minus the 4.5 points. Doesn't mean that I don't think the Jets might be built for a good season. They do have a couple pieces there that I really like. We'll see how it goes after this game, after they start out 0-1. As far as the over and under, I think Hassan Riddick would be a great asset to put some pressure on Purdy. I'm not sure. Will Ayuk be at 100%? Does it matter? If McCaffrey's at 100%, it probably doesn't matter. You would think that Rodgers will be able to put up a couple of points himself with the talent that you mentioned between Hall, Garrett Wilson, and Mike Williams, who is expected to play this week. I will go over. So I have the 49ers minus 4.5, and I have the over.
I don't want to hear nothing about Hassan Reddick. If he's in uniform, then we can talk about him. Right now, it doesn't matter. Brandon Ayuk, whether he's going to be good or not, he's going to be swarmed by that defense. He ain't going to get open. McCaffrey, he better just keep it up the middle and not try to string it out, or that calf will end up into a, you know what? I'm not even going to say that because I believe in karma, and I don't need that coming back on me. But the one thing I do want to retort is this notion of, well, 2 years ago, Aaron Rodgers had he was struggling for his standards. 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Do you know what that would be in a Jet uniform? It would probably be one of the highest years a quarterback has ever had. So I would gladly take 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. That'll probably equal 4 more wins than we had last year, which equals 11-6. But I'll let y'all have your fun. I'll let y'all have your fun in the banter. I'll let y'all have, the Jet 4.5. Yeah, I'm not saying they're not gonna be a good team, just not this week. Listen, even if we lose this game, which I don't believe we will, even if we lose this game, they ain't beating us by 4.5 points. They'd be lucky if they score 4.5 points. That's all I gotta say.
That was the perfect way to end it. Mike Steph, take us home.
It's been an exhilarating, yet pressurizing week 1 of this NFL football season and week 1 of Hidden Gem football. But before I sign out, please check out 19 Media Group's own Warren Shaw and his dope interviews in which he interviewed New York Daily News beat reporter for the New York Jets, Antoine Staley. And even though I might disagree, it was a great interview. Great interview. So, yeah, listen. I'm not only home team, I'm home team. And I'm home team. And I love the interview, truly. So, with all that being said, Hidden Gem football has been a part of the 19 Media Group.
Goodbye. Where's my chicken?
I believe in Mike Steffens. I believe in Mike Steffens. My chicken.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
And let me turn my page so I can see what I'm doing.
Right, Jetty? Oh, look at this. Oh, my God.
I don't know where the chicken is, so chicken's not showing up today.
Yeah. No chicken. No chicken. No chicken. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
What is this?
Beautiful.
Does not need to be that big.
It doesn't. Yes, it does.
There we go. That's much better. Don't have the clock do have the view, but you guys can't see it. Maybe sometime I'll show it to you.
Oh, you on your Bomani-ish?
There we go.
Hands to side to side. I believe in Machete. I believe in Machete.